Hello again, folks. So I was reading through the criminal complaint from Brendan Dassey, and I noticed a few little incongruencies, and I wanted to discuss those real quick. Now, in the criminal complaint for Brendan Dassey, it states that the leg irons were found on November 6th, and that the .22 rifle in Stephen Avery's garage or in his house were also found on November 6th. But here's my thing, folks. When Stephen Avery was originally arrested, he was arrested under felon in possession of a firearm. And that was one of the charges that he was convicted on, was felon in possession of a firearm. They knew on November 6th that he was a felon in possession of a firearm. So why the delay in picking him up? Now, on the 8th of November, they found the plates, Teresa Hallbach's license plates, on the north end of the salvage yard, which, if you look at where the car was found, this was found, okay, so the car was found on the south side of the salvage yard, as far away from Stephen Avery's property as you could possibly get. The plates were found crumpled inside of a scrap vehicle on the north end of the salvage yard. And if you look at a map of the Avery property, and I will put a link to a map below in the description, if you look at the map of where Teresa Hallbach's vehicle was found, and then you consider that the plates were found on the north end of the salvage yard, it sounds to me like somebody was trying to dispose of evidence on their way out of the salvage yard. Like dumping plates inside of a scrap vehicle, figuring nobody would think to look in there. Now, in the statement, in the complaint, it says that Brendan Dassey said that he saw Teresa Hallbach's car. What it omitted was that Brendan Dassey didn't just say that he saw Teresa Hallbach's car. He said he saw Teresa herself on the porch talking with Stephen Avery when he got home from school. Why was that omitted? Maybe because it didn't fit with the prosecution's timeline, perhaps? It also says that Stephen Avery strangled Teresa Hallbach after he had Brendan Dassey cut her throat, and then he went to wash the blood off of his hands. Well, first of all, no blood of Teresa Hallbach was found anywhere in that fucking trailer at all. Second of all, Mr. Kratz has felt the need to tell everybody that the slice to her throat was merely a scratch. Why was there blood if it was just a scratch? Give me 1 second. Now, this is the most interesting part. I called up a chem lab buddy of mine and an old chemistry professor because I wonder, the mixture that Brendan Dassey says that they used to clean up the blood in the garage sounded a little volatile to me. He says that they clean up the garage with a mixture of bleach, gasoline, and paint thinner. Now, considering that Stephen Avery was working on a Suzuki in his garage and they live at a salvage yard where they tear apart or fix up cars, I was assuming that it would be the kind of paint thinner that you would use on car paint as opposed to paint thinner that you would use for anything else. Which the paint thinner that they use with car paint, if you mix it with bleach, it makes a synthetic form of chloroform. So if they had used paint thinner and bleach together, they would have passed out from the fumes floating about. Then if you add bleach to gasoline, it would have exploded. He says that they used Teresa Hallbach's clothes to wipe this mixture over the blood stains. I'm sorry, it's just so funny. They said that Brendan Dassey said that they used Teresa Hallbach's clothes with this mixture of chemicals to clean up the blood stains in the garage and then threw them on the fire. If they had used a mixture of bleach and gasoline and paint thinner, First of all, they would have passed the fuck out. Second of all, even if they were lucky enough to not pass out, the second they tossed those fucking clothes with bleach and gasoline onto the fire, there would have been a massive boom. Probably coupled with two little rednecks being knocked the fuck over in front of the fire. What I don't understand is why the defense didn't think to bring up a chemist to testify to the chemical reactions of these. That's something that needs to be looked into. I don't know who the fuck talks to Stephen Avery's attorneys these days, but whoever does, please point that out. Please point out that they need to break down what would happen if they mix those three chemicals together. Please. Because that could be a very powerful tool during the retrial. So, yeah, that was just some interesting stuff that I noticed in Brendan Dassey's criminal complaint. I'm going to keep going through some more of the documents that I find here, folks. As I find some interesting little tidbits, I'll make new videos. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.